Hey guys.
Hello!
So by popular request today we're going to do a bit of a shop tour. And when the toy makers say shop, it's extensive. There's a lot going on here. So we wanted to give you guys an updated tour. We haven't done this in a while. Here we've got the custom Toy Makers Workshop sign that was painted by a dear friend of ours' mother for us. It was a wonderful, wonderful gift from our friends down in Albuquerque.
Yep.
Along here we have some dial washers and mascot pivot drills, which are from the same family, and they found those, and they're pretty neat. Here we've got some redwood bark from one of our many trips to California to visit the nice folks at Parallax and Joe Grand, etc., 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 Roy Eltham. I think we picked that up on the trip down from Seattle to
Rockland.
Well, we went down the Coast Highway
Yeah.
to go to San Francisco.
Yep.
So that's from that. This is rosewood from Brazil. This was cut back in the 80s. And Flint brought that for us. You guys know Flint from the rabbit hole videos,
Yep.
right? Okay, so we got our fireplace here, which this time of year it's winter, and we like to have the fireplace going.
Yep.
This is our one and only board game,
Stratego.
Stratego. Any Stratego fans out there, please leave comments on the video. It's a weird old game, but it's really fun. If you haven't ever played it, I would totally recommend it. And that's the early version of it.
I totally school Whisker on it nearly every time.
This mess is Addie's ham shack.
Yes.
She's literally not turned this on.
That's not true. I tried it. I tried CQing somebody or people for half an hour on 10 meters, and nobody bit. So we'll get there eventually.
Oh, can't skip
Oh,
this.
I know. Whoops.
There's the tombstone all set up and happy in its little corner. Right now we have Addie's guitar,
Robin.
the U1 Dan Electro plugged into it, and I was just playing it a little while ago. It still sounds great. Yeah, so there's that. This is the newer of the two Hammond organs. This is an M3. This one is currently fully functional. You guys saw me about 2 years ago get into this and fix a bunch of things. We have the black violin that we did is here. You can always tell it because it's got the black back. There's the uke. Picked that up for Addie, and she hasn't messed with it at all. Because, you know, that's kind of her theme. I buy her nice things, she doesn't use them. This is the Proto Synth, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And on board right now, we've got the custom keyboard scanner, Tautic power supply, a propeller ASC, and a MIDI in-me. So I was probably doing MIDI control on some sort of a circuit there. We're getting ready to release the product version of this within the next couple of months. So yeah, stay tuned on that. Pay attention to the workshop videos and you'll see progress of that on there.
Yep.
This we've got a modified Epiphone Valve Jr. It's a 12AX7 pre and 6L6 I think. Could be 6L6 amplifier tube. Anyway, it's very grungy. I've modified it. We built that speaker cabinet for it in an earlier Toy Makers video out of pine and a $10 speaker and a little bit of cloth. It's still gets used today and it's still beautiful. Here we've got the badge
collection.
Yeah. So all the places we've gone and well, many of the places we've gone. Some of these have stories to them. Canyon de Chelly is fun. It was very cold that day, and we were up on the top of the canyons. Land's End, that's by San Francisco. We spent some time walking Land's End out there. This we picked up at Pixar with our buddies Darren Kitchen and Mark Van de Wettering. Joe was there as well, and Ben.
Alcatraz.
Yeah, that was a fun day. We went with Joe and his family. Grand Canyon, we've been there a few times now.
Netherland, Colorado.
Netherlands is a really cool town. I know one of the viewers is from Netherlands, so shout out to our viewers in Netherlands. You all look hungry for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Yosemite is a beautiful place. We went there with Roy Eltham, and Addie just loves driving the twisties.
The dangerous curves.
Up there. She just loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we
Arizona,
got?
New Mexico,
That's
Kingpin.
from Joe's company, his clothing line. New Mexico's are one of our favorite places to eat in the world, and of course we've been all over Route 66, back and forth, up and down, left and right. We have traveled the length of that sucker. Okay, so there's the Wurlitzer. We've done some work on this. We've retuned it, showed you guys how that's done. We refinished the front of it by cleaning everything and taking off all the crayon and markers. This was a college
Crayon.
crayon. This is an endless argument between East Coasters and Midwesterners. It's crayon. Just learn. You live in Minnesota now. It's crayon. Just deal. The front of that was all dirty from 20 years of kids putting their feet up on there. But now it's all pretty and new and tasty. Here we've got the Johnson amp, which sort of has an issue where it cuts out if you've turned up the volume all the way and leave it on for more than about 10 minutes. But if you don't leave it up all the way,
That works
sounds
just fine.
great. And there's my old Marshall. I just got that as a sort of practice amplifier. And it's got a weird crunchy sound to it. Very digitally crunch stuff. This is my first Hammond. It's also an M3. It's not currently functional. We're trying to figure out which tube is gone on it and finding replacements for that. That's a whole, finding tubes, and we've got a tube tester now, which makes that job easier. So this thing will be back up and running at some point. Matter of getting to it. There's a Leslie cabinet for it over there. That's got a spinning speaker in the bottom of it. So there's a speaker that faces down into a drum that turns around and around, and sort of creates a Doppler effect with the organ's notes out into the room. And I've wired it up for 2 different speeds. It's 2 AC motors in there. Depending on which one you turn on, it spins at different speeds. This violin, or viola here, was Addie's gift for her birthday, I believe.
It's gorgeous.
And it's a little bit different in that everything on it, apart from the spruce top, which you'd want spruce, is all bird's eye maple.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Including
instrument.
the neck and the pegs. And the tailpiece. Even the button. So there's that, and it gets played more frequently than some of her toys. Here we've got the progression of the various cigar boxes that led up to building the 2 that look like this. One of them was auctioned off in a Toy Maker's video for $150, and there's its twin, the one that we built first.
Which actually sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So these all have big problems. So this is the first one we made. This was the second. We tried to start doing something fancy up here, but there wasn't enough bracing in the box, so we moved on and we did this one here. And the box top wasn't strong enough, so it's sunken in. But that's actually a really fun guitar. And then we got to this one and its siblings, and they all turned out really good. And then last year you guys watched every step of making this, which is the creme de la creme. I don't think you're getting any better than that.
Yep. And you notice we may have skipped this one. This is because this is the one we bought, and we didn't get it for a year.
Yeah.
And like after 20 emails, we were like,
And it's all
well,
wrong. The intonation is messed up and everything.
and it's cracked.
It's pointless.
So we decided to
Bad.
make our own. Yeah.
Okay, here's the 1917 Adam Schaaf piano. We have it all closed down and buttoned up for the winter. here in this front room, because of the big windows, we don't have an ability to keep this in tune without constantly monkeying with it in the wintertime. So for the winter, we just close it down, and we'll get back to it in the spring. So up here we've got all of the music. So this stuff is from the late 1800s, early 1900s for the most part, and then some of it over here is from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. But I think the newest stuff in here is probably from the 50s. But some of this stuff is ridiculously old.
Very folksy, old-timey.
And you see these are like cut out of newspapers. You got the old comics on the back. It's really fun to read comics from the 30s and 40s.
It's awesome to read news from back then, too, because it's interesting how much more literate everyone was.
That painting is from, was above the fireplace where the Tymkrs workshop sign is now. It was painted by the guys who built this house.
Yep.
And we've kept it around ever since.
Yep. As homage.
And we've got the wood-bodied biscuit resonator here. That's one of my favorite guitars. I found this at Firehouse Guitars, and it was just hanging up on a wall, rusted and dusty, and it looked like it'd been in a kitchen or something because it was covered in grease, and it was just totally pointless. And I restored it. I've been playing it ever since, but not as long as I've been playing her. That's Alice. That's my acoustic. We use that to record a lot of our music with. It's a very nice Alvarez Dreadnought guitar. And here's the S model that we emptied out. We've rebuilt the case, gutted it, rewired the keys here to be able to do a custom key scanner, and built a new fall board and a new speaker baffle. And there's a new speaker in there, and we need to add amplifier to the speaker. Then we've got this copper board here. Need to finish getting that all braced up and strong, and then we're going to build this into a big synthesizer. And it's one of these projects that keeps getting pushed back because it's time intensive and costs money to do. But it's not really,
it's not forgotten
ever, because it's something that is in the music room and needs to function, so it will happen. Just a matter of time.
Yep.
There's another one of Addie's birthday presents, her sort of go-to violin. It's forget the brand on there, but
Silver Creek.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was one of her gifts, and then I built her this other one as well. That's the Copper Dragon. There's some videos out there doing some work on that. That's all custom, bone pegs, carved head, custom fretboard. That neck didn't even come with that body. I put that together. There's that. And then there's these old cases. We're still in the process of getting these restored, but lead paint, so I'm being kind of careful in how I do things. And yeah. All right, so that sums up the music room.
So here's the top-down shot from our loft area, showing all the stuffs. And wanted to show this particular guitar here.
Addie got that for me for my birthday 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But the intonation is messed up, and I'm going to have to redo the fretboard, I think.
It's a metal-bodied, parlor-sized Resophonic guitar?
Yep.
Yeah. From Republic Guitars, I think it was.
Don't buy their stuff. Their company got bought by somebody who does a crappy job. They used to make really good guitars, but now, not so much.
It is pretty, though.
It's beautiful.
I think.
It'll sound great once finished.
Yep. So this is our music room.
Big windows.
Big windows. Yeah. A lot of snow.
Hey guys.
Hello! Just kidding. Continuing the studio tour. So,
Familiar?
yes. This is our epic table
They're
of
used to that view. Show them the rest of it.
epicness. All right. Okay. So here's where all of our, or some of our rack mount equipment is, and
2-channel compressor, tube compressor. This is an 8-channel audio interface. This is a 4-channel compressor limiter gate thingy. And then we've got MP3 recorder, hardware recorder, 16-port switch.
yep.
And this stuff is all currently disconnected because we're working on the studio. So
Yep.
stuff out here is not messed up.
We got
Isn't hooked up yet.
Whiskers monitor.
This is what we use for shooting all the stills
Yep.
and the product photos and stuff like that. There's Addie's Cascade. We use that for recording music. These are touchscreen monitors. These will be the new Skype machine monitors when we move the Skype machines in here. That way you've got the blocking monitor here so we can see what the camera is seeing live. Up there we've got the Canon T1i, which we use to shoot video when we do 2-camera shoots. And that's the wide shot of the table here. We got a lot of cool stickers on here, everything from Tindy, Osage Park, Internet Archive, Joe Hackaday, Revolver Records in Phoenix,
Propeller.
Evil Mad Scientist Labs. We got to go hang out with them at their place.
This is
stole some
Kaz's.
stickers. Yep. There's Chaz. And
Is it Chaz or Kaz?
well,
Chaz.
Chaz.
Kaz.
You always do that too. Propeller.
Instructables.
Place.
Zombies.
This is a piercing tattoo-ish place that we went with John. Because you know he's hardcore.
Yeah.
There's a Juju sticker over there from Matt. He works on Juju. Go check that out.
Yep.
Heatsink Labs. We got to go hang out with them. Yeah, this place is just full of history, this room.
Yep.
The floor has not been de-squeaked yet. This is Addie's side. We keep the stickers here. We've got an accidental CD. It's a friend of ours is in that band. There's the speakers we were just working on the other week. We haven't put them up yet. This is the Micromatic, famous in a YouTube video.
Yep.
Touch Me, that's Atari's first educational toy.
Which is hilarious.
This is VTech's first educational toy, the Lesson 1. Here's a fire alarm in case of
Wait.
fire.
You gotta show this one.
This Darren
oh, we're
gave
not allowed
us.
to show. Maybe
Well,
not.
it's been long enough, I think.
Oh.
It's laser engraved with Thanks Toy Makers. Darren Kitchen gave us this from Hack 5. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Big challenge coin. What else we got? This is the volume out of the S model. It's a big air variable capacitor. They use that as the volume control. Isn't that cool? Out of order stickers so that we can mess with other people's things. We got this at Evil Mad Scientist Labs. That needs to go up on a wall, actually. That's Eggbot test board that didn't work out because it's got the breakout tabs. So they wanted to do another run that just had the routing going all the way across, so that they wouldn't have the messy tabs. That phone, Matt used to use to spy on his brother in the 80s when his brother was on the phone. Addie's got some glassware down there that she got for freezies. These are projector bulbs out of our projector. We've gone through 3 bulbs so far, and we're working on our 4th one. That's the original IBM PC from like 78 or so. That's the motherboard out of it.
Yep.
Flint brought that knife. That's made by somebody who's a famous knife maker. I forget the name though.
Let me see. I think the brand name is some Anza. Yeah. Anza.
It's a nice name.
I don't know if you can see it.
Okay, we've got the sound panels up. As you've seen before, these are all
Woo!
cotton, batting, and burlap and treated lumber, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay, and then over here we've got all of the storage for all of the things that get used in the studio constantly. So we've got tons of cables, power cables, audio cables, whatever. Stuff moves around as we change things. We have microphones. We have various projects and ongoing things like the Crybaby and stuff from John. It's a filter I was designing. Here's the original Turn Me that we turned into a kit. This is Longhorn Engineer's propeller board, and this actually detects the light, and depending on which side is brighter, lights up one of the two different lights here. What else we got?
Camera stuff.
Yeah, this is the lenses for the Canon. These are Galvos for laser, and we got the big green laser, so I want to use that with those. Yeah, weights for weighing down microphone stands, and just sort of the land that time forgot up here, where Addie can't reach stuff. A lot of early Tymkrs projects are up here, like whatever the heck that is. Yeah, it's a 2-channel amplifier. This is a laser. It has a little laser diode right there and an audio input on it. It actually shoots lasers across the room, encoding it with audio. Oh, let's see. Earplugs, because Eddie snores. It's the inverter that we use on the road trips, and we got the radio that goes with us on road trips, a little 2-meter radio for listening to the weather and stuff. Yeah, let's go check out the shelf on my side.
Okay.
Squeaky floor. I need to put the bamboo floor in here.
Bum bum.
Here's the Samstone. Yeah, that's a sad stone. Here's a camera case. Here's a bunch of
Old camera paraphernalia.
these are all the books for the cameras that we have. So
Yeah.
here's all that we have, the documentation for all of them. That star was made by Matt.
It's for out of bicycle chain
Yeah.
link.
We got a Bobot all stacked up with a USB prop on there, ready to go. We haven't got to do anything with it yet, but we will. Here's a Kodak. And then we've got a whole bunch of
old cameras.
We've got a lot of Kodaks, so you know.
Yeah.
And these things go back to. This is a Kodak 120, and this is probably 1910s or so.
You think so?
Yeah, some of these go back to like 1890s and such. Some of them are a little bit newer, but most of these are really old.
Like my pink camera.
Yeah, we shot a year and a half of Toymaker television on that camera, and you guys are inside of a gray version of this exact camera right now.
Yeah.
The lens is stuck out on this one because it was in my pocket and the power got turned on. Okay, cameras. Here's TI's first educational toy, Little Professor. It shows you a math problem and you have to tell it the answer. Will brought this by. It's cool, little automotive road flasher thing. Some more Kodaks, brownies. This, I want to get going. That's a little Variac. Stole from John S. We just finished that project down there, Eddie's 6-channel amplifier. Here's something from Joe. This is an episode of Nova on VHS. Thank you, Joe. KGB, The Computer and Me. Very useful. We've got something he found in Singapore.
Electronic musical projects.
It's full of circuits that were stolen from other people. It's great. I thought I'd like that. We've got Disket. Those are the kind that I grew up on, and then you get into the older big stuff.
Yeah.
These things are gigantic. A little bit of show and tell history we get a lot of visitors here that tour that are younger people, and they never get to see stuff like that. Got petrified wood and some lava down there from our various trips.
That's the power.
Power supply for the S model chord organ. It's still good. We just have to find a good use for it, but it looks cool, so we leave it sitting there. And below that's the tube tester. And then over there we've got some joysticks for the Radio Shack TRS-80 color computer too. The Coco, which is around here somewhere.
Yep.
Yep, put it away. Alright, that pretty much wraps it up for this room.
Bum 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 bum. Ta-da!
I don't even have words for this mess, Eddie.
This is organized chaos. This is
Obviously,
Where-
Eddie's area, not mine.
where the magic happens. And
By magic, she means mess.
it's awesome. It is epic. Where all of my designing.
So what do you do in here?
I do a lot of kitting. I do some design work. I do some prototyping. Note the prototype.
Yeah, that was in the video the other day.
Yeah. And
I see little parts of products that are like, they look like they're messed up in some way or another.
well, old new products. Yeah.
We go surplus shopping when we're out on road trips, and Addie brings back crazy stuff.
These are really cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but they're awesome. It's like $5 for 4 of them.
What are these? I keep seeing these.
Oh, these were, I don't know. These were from the store, the
Surplus store?
surplus store in Arizona
Cool.
that we went to with John, and I think they're Dremel tool bits,
They
but they're
might be
metal.
Diamond plated, actually. They got little stuff on them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and they're all sorts of different kinds. So
There's from Zombie Bait.
that's zombie bait.
There used to be a
It's been
microcontroller inside of that.
been gutted. Oh, and then Whisker said, I said to Whisker that I wasn't Midwestern until I had a cement mixer. And so he made a cement mixer. Or he got me a cement mixer.
It's functional.
It is functional.
I wouldn't want to do a basement slab with it.
Let me see. And then there's little Linux tucks out of Sugru. And traffic cones. And... oh! Guess who made these? Alan's significant other, BD2ZAY. Tanya made that. And then there's my 1939 International. I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
Traffic cones.
Traffic cones. Cement mixer.
Looks like you got a Bobot up here
I do.
with the activity board on it.
Yep. I like the activity board a lot, actually. And then if you order anything from us, you get a toy maker card. Notice.
Everybody wants one of those.
I do. And that is...
You got your microphone
is.
set up over there too.
Yep.
When we're doing podcasts, Addie's actually in here with her headphones and microphone.
Right. Are we going to look at your desk next?
Yeah, we'll go in there.
Okay. So, my desk. And then...
This whole room is
Bum.
my desk.
Bum. Bum. That's Whisker's desk.
Mm-hmm.
My desk. Whisker's desk.
Okay, we've got the Acadian flag,
Acadian flag.
post-it notes with guitar chords
Yeah.
on the wall because you know this is that kind of a place.
Yep.
I'm working on MIDI stuff right now, so I've got the MIDI keyboard out with its stand. Down there we've got the network switch for the private network here in the house. And up at the top we have a headphone distribution amplifier, a 4-channel mixer, a 2-channel audio interface. You'll have to dip a little low to see up in there. That's the command center right there.
Mm-hmm.
Up top we have 22-inch monitor, Rocket KRK, 32-inch monitor, Rocket KRK, 22-inch monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Here we got the same mic as Addie for podcasting, so that we both sound the same, only I sound more masculine.
I see.
Up there we got the Skype machines. That's Studio 1 and Studio 2. That's where the Skype callers for the podcast dial in to us, and we take the audio out of there and mix it in, and we record it all in multi-track. I've got lots of projects going on the desk right now because we're getting ready to release a bunch of new products. But I'm not going to talk about any of that because that'll change over time. Up here, we've got a scope that I use for looking at audio signals when I'm working on little audio circuits. These are my Grado SRS 125s, or SR 125s rather. Very nice headphones Addie bought me as a gift. Thank you. And then we've got a rack down here. Let's see, go down. Up at the top, we've got the Game Boy adapter. Goes from stereo to dual mono. And then we've got the Mac that we use for multi-track recording, music, and podcast. This is the 8-channel audio interface for the Macintosh. Here's a 2-channel tube amplifier, 2-channel EQ, and those are used on the turntable. We've got the record player in there. And then down here we got the power supply for everything on this rack. Well, everything over here, honestly. And this one's just being used as a shelf, and that one is going to be turned into a ground lift isolation transformer box for the Skype machines soon. Over here, we've got all of the ongoing projects. Each one has its own drawer. So as products are being developed, they live in those drawers. As parts come in, PCBs come in, that's just how we organize it all. And as it gets closer to done, it moves over to Addie's desk, and then it gets lost forever, and nobody knows what happens to it after that.
And then they go into Tindy.
We're kind of a recording studio situation here, so you go around here and that's how we buy guitar strings, because we need lots of them. Let's see, we've got blank cassettes from our friends in Canada. Thank you, friends in Canada. Here we've got a 4-track cassette recorder as well. And there's a bunch of other stuff tucked back here that gets used quite frequently. We are always talking about the Tube MP Studio. This is a little tube amplifier, 128X7 preamplifier. And oh my gosh, that's the best thing in the world. If you don't have one, you should. This is the new drafting table. We just built this a few weeks ago. It's obviously been getting some use. And we've got the silk screen printouts here for doing the positive exposures on the silk screens at the rabbit hole. So these need to go downstairs whenever we get a chance. Here's some Game Boy mainboard hull stuff all plotted out on paper. As I'm figuring out how to design PCBs, I do some of the work on paper. This one is going to be one of the pages for the new bench design.
Okay.
And we'll check out the bench now. Okay, we'll just sort of run along here. On this end, we've got the reflow oven. That's shown up a bunch of times in videos. We use that to melt solder paste on boards with components sitting on top of it.
Yep.
Some of our products now, we actually sell assembled for the most part. And all of the SMT, the surface mount stuff, we do the soldering here.
Right.
And then any of the through-hole stuff, we leave that for the customer. This is a donation that came in, scope.
Just the head of it.
Yeah, so I built a base for it and a little riser platform. And when you rack this all the way down, it's focused right at the surface of this. So I really don't need an adjustable thing because this racks up from there, and I haven't had any problems at all starting from this height. It just worked out that way. This is where we do our SMT assembly, solder paste, inspection after it's been reflowed and all that. And here's a cool thing. It looks all cyberpunky. Peter helped me build this. This is a little light. It's an LED. I've got it turned way down right now. And there used to be an incandescent bulb in here. but we replaced it with an LED and mounted the heat sink on there just to keep it nice and cool. And as you can see down here, it illuminates whatever's down there. We got a little pick chip up here controlling the
Brightness of the
power,
1
yeah.
watt LED, I believe it is.
10 watt.
10 watt?
All right, we got a project that I'm working on at the moment, so there's a few things here that wouldn't normally be here. But this is the handy Hako iron from
Jason.
Jason Todick. Thank you, that thing gets used every day.
Yeah.
That is an amazing thing. Up here we've got, I can't really read them from here, but this is the random hardware box. Lots of screws and nuts and things. This is the breadboard box, and this is the servo box. And then these are all various, that one's empty, breadboard wires. So, these are pluggable ones. We get them in big bands, cheap. Bus pirate and various like jacks that are soldered up to things and potentiometers. And here's ones that don't have heads and no solder stuff on it, just straight up wire and ribbon cable as well.
A lot of people ask if we smoked all the cigars in these cigar boxes.
Nope.
No, that's a negatory. You can get the cigar boxes in bulk
Yeah, empty.
from cigar outlets.
Okay, this is a new tool for the shop.
Hot air
Yeah,
rework
a little
station.
hot air pencil.
Yep.
And it came with 3 feet, so I stuck a 4th foot back on there, and you can tell because the feet are all different sizes.
Can't really see it here. But by feet, he means the little rubber feet.
Huh?
Yeah, that's better. Yep.
So these two get used all the time. Okay, up here there's Addie's first electronics project, a little cigar box speaker thing, and we still use it all the time. It's got a little audio input jack here, and it just gets plugged into whatever we're working on. And it's got a subwoofer in the bottom of it and stereo
Here.
speakers up on the sides.
Subwoofer. Okay.
This is the garbage for up here.
Hello, garbage can.
This is all the LED trimmings and, you know, little plastic bags and stuff that accumulate on the bench. It's nice to have a little tiny trash can. Let's see, we got the power supply, which was a,
Churchill.
I call it Winston, because it says
Churchill.
Churchill? Yeah, it says Churchill on the side, and I called it Winston. But that's Addie's power supply that she built. It's a linear power supply, plugs into the wall.
With parts from John, actually. Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of John, this scope is from John. He sent that home with us last time we visited him in Phoenix.
Yep.
And this monitor I picked up for a future project. I haven't had time to get to it yet, but that's going to be, once we get going on impressive project videos again, once we're out of this dev cycle, I'm going to get to work on building a TV typewriter, which the old graybeard hackers of the audience will know what I mean. I was working on Commodore 64. Last night I had to replace a capacitor, so this was just opened up and worked on, and it's running fine. I got it hooked up to my old green Apple monitor. More future stuff on the way. Back here we've got the Pyrex tubes that John sent us home with. Those are going to become tube amplifiers. We're going to build it inside the tube. So
A tube inside a tube.
Yeah,
amplifier.
dude, it's a pun. Here's one of the prototypes for an upcoming product. More on that in workshop videos in the next couple of months here. This is the box that we use for shooting the product photos in. These 2 bars light up, and it's all white inside. You stick the product in there, set up the tripod, and take the picture.
Voila.
Voila! And over here we've got some other storage. This is the unbagged box, and this is the bagged box. You know, in electronics bench area, you have all the little PCBs that come in little anti-static bags. Anti-static bag stuff goes in here, and stuff that has lost its bag goes in here. It's an excellent system. I like it. These are all the envelopes that we use for sending things out. Products. Here are the products. These are the ones that are all kitted up and ready to go out when they get purchased in our Tindy store. Tindy.com/stores/TYMKRS. You can buy any of our stuff there. This is Addie's Gerstner tool chest that I got her for birthday or something.
Yep.
And it's got all the meters in there, and what else we got? This is where all the cutting stuff goes.
Does it?
This is where all the optical stuff goes, magnifying glasses and lights and things. There's all the pens and pencils. That doesn't go there. Addie's really bad at this.
You may find some.
This is mine.
You may find
That goes
some.
with the rest of my Mike Burr set of things. This is where that Allen wrench that you were asking about goes.
Oh, I put it over here.
Because that's where Allen wrenches go, Addie.
Well, I don't know.
So there's the Allen wrench drawer. This is the soldering drawer, which does not. You're a terrible person.
Hey, wait, cutting stuff goes up here.
Yep, that's right. Okay, and this is for screwing things in and such. So, there. And here's for cutting and clamping and things like that. All goes in there. Sometimes it's hard to find room for everything, but tweezers, lots of SMT tweezers, and wire strippers from, these ones are from Red. Red Naxala. And there's some more down
We
here.
had another set. Where did we?
From John, the other John.
John.
Insurgent John.
Oh, Insurgent.
And,
That's right.
and these are really nice. These, and then,
And then pull.
these are great. So there's Addie's tool chest there. She keeps all of her electronic machinist stuff. Okay, and that, I think, wraps up the epic update of the Toymakers Workshop as it stands at this point in 2014, right at the end of 2014. And there's lots of rabbit hole stuff too, but we kind of do rabbit hole videos separately, so we're not going to go down there and tour the big shop, the wood shop, and all that sort of stuff. We'll leave that for rabbit hole videos. Thank you all for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.
This is a fast whisker. This is a fast whisker.